No, Commander. The war continues, at great cost. We now believe another force is at work against us. If not dealt with swiftly, it could destroy us. What we're about to tell you cannot be repeated. Even now, enemy agents could be.
We're talking to Garth DeAngelis from Firaxis about Xcom Enemy Within, the recently announced expansion for the very excellent game Xcom Enemy Unknown. Tell us, just to summarize, what's new?
You have mechs. Mechs are new, and they are awesome. No, there's a lot new, and in typical Firaxis fashion, we wanted to create this really robust, deep expansion pack that could add on to the framework of Xcom Enemy Unknown. Sort of like what they do with the Civilization series, with Gods and Kings and Brave New World. So the design team, they said, all right, here's what we love about Enemy Unknown. You have consequences, you have the synergy between strategy and tactical layers. What can we do specifically to even make that richer and deeper? So you see things like the mechs that we talked about, which give you your brand new class, the gene mods, brand new goodies for the players to play with. And that's all wrapped in a really clean package that ties it with the strategy layer, with the meld that are on all the new maps that were created, that you can bring back to strategy, give to your scientists and engineers, so you can research this stuff.
So is this like a new campaign that sort of comes after the main game, or is it integrated into the main game?
Yeah, similar to Civilization, it's integrated into the main game. So if you can imagine the bookends of Enemy Unknown, you still have those same bookends. You're starting at the beginning of the alien invasion and then ending with the journey through the temple ship. But in between, there's all of this new content. Again, all of the new maps, the decisions you can make from a high level that then trickle down into the battlefields, and a lot of stuff we're not talking about today as well.
I played the demo earlier, and of course this might just be because it's a demo, but I sort of got the feeling that my guys were extremely overpowered compared to the aliens I was beating. Is that reflective of how the final game will be, or?
We want to build you up during this demo, but when you get into the meat of the game, once it's Enemy Within, the design team did a great job of balancing to make sure that classic XCOM challenge is still integral to the experience. Of course, we don't just want to give you all these goodies and then it gets easier. We have to do the same thing for the aliens as well. So there's a lot of things we did, both with balancing the difficulty levels, but also with things like the mechtoid, which you saw. So the aliens are now going to have their own tech that's brand new that will counter your tech. So the difficulty curve and the interest curve is about the same as XCOM Enemy Unknown.
Let's get into specifics. Like what, besides looking awesome, what does the mech actually do on the battlefield?
Oh man, yeah. So yes, it looks awesome, but the important stuff is how does it play different, and it's extremely unique beyond any of the classes from Enemy Unknown. I don't know if you saw the Kinetic Strike, or basically the rocket-powered fist. You now have melee gameplay in XCOM Enemy Within, which we didn't have anything like that in Enemy Unknown. Unless you were getting your face bit off by a Chryssalid, now you can fight back with a mech unit. It's extremely gratifying to take on a Berserker with matching him with his own size and power. The mech has a ton of other stuff. They have their own unique weapons. They can have a flamethrower, which makes aliens panic and also attacks them in a cone. They have grenade launchers, proximity mine launchers, and a ton of passive abilities as well that the player can spec out.
The title, Enemy Within, I guess that ties into the the gene modifications you can do on your old soldiers. What sort of abilities can we expect there?
Yeah, the gene mods are really cool. So as you alluded to, in Enemy Unknown, you're reverse engineering actual weapons that you're holding. Well, now you can do alien autopsies and take pieces of alien DNA and things actually integrate them into your body. You can update the brain, the eyes, the skin, the legs, and the chest or the heart. One of my favorite choices is the skin option, where you can say, okay, I want to take anyone from one of my classes and let's genetically modify their skin. You can give them a medic skin, which renders them invisible in high cover. So they're basically a ghost unit whenever they go to high cover. Super useful. Or you can give them bioelectric skin, which lets them almost mentally scout out in the fog of war, and you can see where aliens are lurking, where they're patrolling, with this bioelectric mechanic. So it's stuff like that really puts them over the top, makes them feel a bit superhuman.
And these are upgrades you just buy for your like a soldier. You don't have to I guess clone him or birth him in that way or whatever?
Cloning. That's in Enemy Within, post Enemy Within. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I like to think of it like a more flexible soldier perk tree in the class system. You know that you're making one of two choices and you go down a linear tree. With gene mods, you're layering on top of that soldier class system, but you can select piecemeal in any order what you want to give them. There's still a choice of 2 options per body part, so you have to choose one of the 2, but you can give them as many as 1 or 5 gene mods. So it's really flexible.
It's not like the psionic, or is it like the psionic system where you have to sort of send your guys away for training for a while before they get the powers?
You do, but not as long as psionics, and also they cannot fail like psionics. I mean, you have to be mentally gifted to be psionic. Anyone can be genetically modified, so that's a nice.
What was the sort of inspiration for going this path with the soldier development?
I think Ananda Gupta, our lead designer, he was really, again, going back to that synergy between tactical and strategy, he was really looking into how can we push that further. And everyone loved getting the alien tech, but there was things like plasma weapons and alien grenades. Well, we can get a lot cooler stuff if we dive deeper into what the aliens are and what we can do with them. So obviously we wanted to give players more toys, and that was a way to push it over the top, a la Enemy Within, like you said. You can now take this technology and put it within yourself. And I think that was his primary driving motivator.
You mentioned Civilization earlier, and the Civilization expansions, much like this one, have come out like relatively late compared to the release of the Final Line, where most other games do their DLC like 3 months after release or whatever. Right. Tell us a bit about that sort of different approach.
Yeah, well, we did a bit of a hybrid approach. We had the Elite Soldier Pack and the Slingshot Pack, which came out within a few months of Xcom, Enemy Unknown. But we always knew all along that we did want to do this more holistic, huge expansion as well. And like I said earlier, it really has worked for Firaxis. The Civilization model's been great. The fans really seem to like that. They like this tidal wave of content coming at once in this neatly wrapped expansion, and it made sense for us to do it as well. So once we saw the paper design from Ananda and the design team, we were fully on board. We said, this also lines up with what the community is saying that they want. They want these things. They want more maps. They want more abilities. They want more aliens. All of this stuff, more freedom on the strategy layer, was part of what the designers wanted to build anyway. So we said, let's put it all together and release it as a giant pack.
Yeah, I think that's almost it. So wrapping up, when's it out?
It is out November 15th internationally on PC and Mac. And also for Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3.
Thank you very much, Garth.
Thank you.